Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, bringing you another Star Citizen video. And today we're going to talk about dynamic missions. Are they good or bad for the game? These are a very controversial topic at the moment because we have the Xenothreat mission that's upcoming, and it is going to be the first, I guess, truly dynamic mission in the game, or at least along the lines of what CIG are originally talking about. I want to clarify that this is not the only type of dynamic mission that is being speculated for the game. The Ninetales event, the Ninetales lockdown, will most likely be quite a bit different than what you're going to get with Xenothreat. Xenothreat, there's definitely some, I guess, phases. There's definitely going to be a few more moving parts than what we might get in the Ninetales event. Whereas the Ninetales event, from the sounds of things, is going to be kind of like a protect mission, or maybe even get through a blockaded Lagrange point, something along those lines. At least if Star Citizen leaks is to be believed. And sometimes they're right, and a lot of times they're not. But I think they're pulling that straight from the files that are in the game already. They said they were working on the Ninetales lockdown, but a lot of it's probably already in game. They just have to turn it on. So this Xenothreat, let's talk a little bit more about this. So is it going to be for everybody? No, not at all. And no dynamic event is going to be for everybody. I think you're going to have dynamic events on different scales in different parts of the galaxy eventually. I mean, do I think that these are important for the game? I do. Why do I think they're important for the game? Well, there's only so much player-created content you can do before it gets kind of stale. A lot of people use Jumptown as a player-created content, or the Daymar Rally. The Daymar Rally is doing a good job of changing it up every year, but not everybody wants to race. Not everybody wants to watch racing on the planet, So it's definitely not for everybody. Jumptown, same thing. Not everybody wants to deal drugs or deal with blockades that are covering the... some people just don't want to deal with that. Those are definitely important for the game itself, having the player run dynamic missions. Now, does CIG need to have their run dynamic missions? Yes, they absolutely do. It's going to engage people that aren't necessarily wanting to deal with the other players in that way. I mean, I think you're going to end up with both PvP and PvE dynamic missions. Like Xenothreat's designed as a PvE dynamic missions. It's versus AI rather than against other players. Now, they could easily drop in missions for other players at some point that they could take from Xenothreat to help secure or eliminate threats to them in that mission. So they can have multiple ways of doing the same dynamic missions, or giving people an opportunity to participate in them. This dynamic system is very important for the game going forward, because they plan on Star Citizen existing for a long time. Not just 4 or 5 years. We're talking 10, 15, 20 years. And in order for the game to not get stale and not get old, they need to have these events, whether they're small or large. I mean, you can definitely get the entire community involved if it's a larger scale event. So let's say we're 5 years into the Star Citizen project, that it's already been out for 5 years in full release rather than just alpha or beta. Things have probably gotten a little old for some people, and now a Vandal fleet comes in and invades the known UEE systems again. This could be a massive dynamic event that takes place in multiple systems with multiple different missions that players are going to have to undertake to sustain the UEE way of life, or their own profits, etc. Or maybe they have the Kurthak attack the Xi'an, and the Xi'an are asking for help from anyone and everyone involved, or or not involved, to come and help them out, and they'll pay large sums of money. I mean, they could definitely get away with doing some sort of dynamic event around that. They could also do like a bank heist dynamic event. Maybe there's somebody out there that's an expert bank heist person or gang, and they're fleeing from the authorities, and the authorities ask for your help to find them. Or maybe it's on the other side. In order to gain certain reputation with a certain group, they want to do dynamic bank heist event where multiple people have to be involved at multiple places in one system in order to distract the authorities or whatever. I don't know. That was a little far out there, I admit. But dynamic events are going to be extremely important to keep our attention. I mean, we have low attention spans nowadays. Why there's multiple games out there. People go from game to game to game. I mean, watch streamers. There's a lot of streamers that, at least the more popular ones, that try out different games. Every week they're on a different game, or every other day they're playing a different game. They may have gotten popular in one game, but that game got old. It's no longer fun. It's some of the luster has worn off, so they've moved on to other games. That's not going to be any different in Star Citizen unless they can find a way to re-engage those players. You can actually look now and see that there's been a lot of players drop off because the game hasn't released yet. Well, most players that are in it right now know that it's just being tested at the moment. They don't have a game yet. They won't have a game for a while. So those players dropping off, they may not understood that, or it just may have gotten old doing the same old test over and over again, so to speak. So these dynamic events are very important to keep players engaged. I mean, what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. Do you think that the dynamic mission system is going to be important, or do you think it's not? Do you think it's going to be good or bad for Star Citizen? I really don't see the negatives to it unless that's the only content that's in the game. If dynamic missions are the only content in the game, that would be a bad thing, because then it really will get stale. You're going to have enough regular missions out there that are fun and engaging, jobs out there that are fun and engaging. You're going to have enough player events, missions or whatever out there that could be fun and engaging. You really need all of these things for dynamic missions to be a successful venture, because you need that variety to stay happy, to stay engaged, to stay enjoying the game. Some people are happy just mining away all the time, all year long, but that's fine. But I guarantee you're going to get tired of going to the same mining asteroids, or those asteroids are eventually going to be static, and you're going to mine those nodes out, so you're going to have to move on. It'll be nice to see a different kind of asteroid, or a different asteroid field, or a different planet that you can mine on. Do you agree? I mean, you need that variety even in the mundane things, even in the things that some people just really like to do over and over and over again. You still need a little bit of variety there to make it entertaining, to make it enjoyable, to make it to where you want to stick around and continue playing. So that's really why I think the dynamic mission system is going to be important. But, obviously we need to put an asterisk there. There's got to be other things going on to make the dynamic missions seem like they're not the only thing there. The whole point of it is to keep the game from getting stale, to keep things moving forward, to keep a storyline going on. We haven't even talked about the storylines. The dynamic missions should provide lots and lots of story for us to, enjoy or to partake in, or to be a part of, or to change. That, to me, would be one of the important things about the dynamic mission. Now, is it important in 3.12.1 to have a huge storyline behind it. No. They need to just make sure that the tools work. It's, again, a test. They're testing the dynamic system to make sure that this stuff actually works. So, yeah, I think that the dynamic system is very important, and that's the reason why. Let's have your thoughts on it, and let me know in the comments down below. I do want to thank everybody who's been tuning in and watching the videos as of late. I know that some of the viewership's dropped off a little bit because of the algorithm. I haven't been on the algorithm, but thank you for tuning in. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.